Clarion's special election 2000. Let us know.
And I'm Courtney Maines. And next hour we'll have Anna will be for analysis of the races and the results of today's vote.
Chris Portman went out to the Clarion area junior senior. People are reacting to voting.
And we'll have the results from all local, state, and national races as they become available.
All this and more coming up of this special edition of TV5 News.
We're now going to Pakistan.
Very much, ladies. We are here right across the street from the courthouse in the park. Voting ended about 2 hours. Voting was from 7 to 8 o'clock today, and this is what the Clarion County residents saw. This was the municipal ballot for Clarion County. This is what they saw when they went into the polls. I was inside here at the courthouse, and a lot of the precincts are bringing their boxes with all the votes in. They are being tallied. The last time I was over there, last check, from them, but we should be hearing them shortly because there was quite a line of precincts coming in. Some of the candidates have started to gather over there. In fact, what's happening is the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have kind of both set up shop, set up offices in there. In the Prothonotari's office, the Democratic Party is having kind of their own little party in there. Their candidates and members of the party are gathering there to await returns. And the same thing is going on the Republican side in the Register Recorder's office. That's what's going on inside right now. Now, what we're going to be doing out here for you tonight is we're going to be speaking with some of the candidates who are out here who are running in some of the bigger races, the races we've been following, the county sheriff's race, the corner race, the Clarion. Also, we hope to be speaking with a member of an organization that I understand was just organized on the Clarion University, but that's the Clarion University Young Democrats. She is going to be coming out here and speaking with us. We're also going to be speaking with William Peck, who was running for sheriff in Clarion County. Those are some things we have confirmed, and that's what's going to be coming up for you live from the Clarion County Courthouse. I'm Mark Espadakis. We'll send it back to you.
We currently have no results. We'll get the results as soon as they come to us. Political analysis and Clarion University's professor. Thank you for joining us tonight, Professor Urnal.
Thanks so much for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure to be here, and hope I can shed light on the races here in Clarion and maybe elsewhere as well.
Professor Urnal, what do you think are some of the strong candidates in tonight's election?
Well, certainly one of the marquee races here locally certainly is the race for coroner between Raleigh Burns and his opponent. So certainly I think that's one of the major issues, or one of the major races we're looking at. So certainly Raleigh Burns would be one of the major candidates here locally. The Democrat who is the incumbent coroner, and who certainly we as Democrats, and I'm speaking as a Democrat, not as a professor tonight, we hope that he will be returned to office, and we're very upbeat that will be the case. Our candidate for sheriff is Dan Hornberger, and we're also very upbeat about that. Statewide, speaking as a Democrat, one of the major races is the race for the state Supreme Court, and Kate Ford Elliott being the Democratic candidate. And that's a major statewide race, and she's very, very qualified, and we're hoping that she's going to get in there as well.
As you say about the major issue with the Supreme Court, can you elaborate on that, why it's a major issue?
Well, think of it this way. Americans sometimes don't think too much about the courts, but they're very, very important and vital. The state Supreme Court is really our version of the U.S. Supreme Court, but here at the statewide level. It's the last court here, and major decisions worker compensation, wide variety of issues, and it's a major issue because these are the people that will vote on some of the major decisions, and in some cases really set policy. And Kate Ford Elliott is very qualified. It's a major race here in Pennsylvania because you've seen a lot of ads on television for this race for the state Supreme Court. And Kate Ford Elliott has been attacked quite frequently by a lot of out-of-state. Big money has come into the state. Corporations have been attacking Kate Ford Elliott, the Democrat, in large part because she has a pretty solid record for Senate races. We don't have in the House races because this is an off-year election here. Next year we'll have the congressional races. So really what we have now are local races, county by county, borough to borough, and city to city, and we have the statewide race for the state Supreme Court. So watch out for the Kate Ford Elliott race. That'll be interesting to see.
Professor, Clarion is generally a Republican county. Do you expect to see many Democrats in office?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the Democratic Party does very well here in Clarion County. You may not expect that because roughly 2,000 vote edge, or at least a 2,000 person edge in registration. But what you find in local politics is that sometimes party isn't as important as results and trust, and knowing that the person is going to do a good job, whether it's coroner or sheriff or what have you. And what you find is that even the Republican Party certainly has a definitive edge here. There are many Democrats because they've done a good job, and people and they're confident with them and they trust them. So that's why you see an amazing amount of Democrats here, whether it's in the county, whether it's the county commissioners or the district attorney, down to the school board. And so people look for results in local elections, and sometimes even more so than parties. So I'm confident the Democrats will continue to do well here, even though they are out now.
Thank you. We're now going to go back to Mark Despotakis live at the Clarion County Courthouse. Mark, who do you have tonight?
Here at the courthouse, I just checked in with our reporter inside the courthouse, and what she told me is that right at this moment we don't have any races reporting. Like I said, we're really expecting this to happen sometime very soon because as I was standing in there, the crowd is actually starting to gather. And usually by this point in the evening, we do start to get some reports on the races. The precincts were lining up to bring their ballots in. In fact, I talked to the poll workers from Knox Township, and they said that they actually had what they deemed a very good turnout. They had 300 voters turn out at their polling place. Now there's 650 registered, so that's about a 50% turnout. But then in some other that I spoke with, they said that they only had about 12 people who came out to vote. So like I said, we're just going to have to take a look at the numbers once they come in tomorrow. We can't go any real hard facts today. We are actually waiting to speak with the president of the Clarion University Young Democrats. They've just been organized, I was told. So that should be interesting. And as I said, we also have William Peck coming down here, running in the sheriff's race that is coming up at the bottom half of the hour. And that's what we know now. It's just a matter of waiting. We are waiting for the numbers, and of course we will give you the numbers as soon as possible. We're not only watching local races, we're going to be taking a look at, in our analysis tomorrow, how does Clarion County vote for some of those things that Kevin Urinal was talking about? How does Clarion County affect the Supreme Court race, the Kate Ford Elliott Mike Egan race? How do we fit into that? So those are all things we're going to be taking a look at. As we said, just waiting for numbers. I do believe that all three of the precincts in Clarion Borough have reported, so we do have that. So those numbers should be coming out, and the borough council race that we're following, 6 candidates running, and only 4 of those will be selected, some incumbents on there as well. So we are going to be watching the races, and we'll be coming back to you when we have information. Live downtown, I'm Mark Despotakis, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. Stay tuned. There's much more ahead on a special edition of TV5 News.
That's right. Coming up after the break, we'll have continuing Scene 5 coverage of Election 2001.
Mark Despotakis will be spending more time with the candidates.
And Kevin Urinal will be providing analysis of the races.
All this and more coming up in just a few moments.
Topping pizza for $5.99. Make it with unlimited toppings for $8.99. Call Domino's now at 226-4060. This special is good only tonight, and you must mention that you saw this offer right here on Clarion's very own TV5.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
We're for some TV5 news anchors provided by Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all, with many different styles. Fashion Bug also offers a wide selection of accessories. Fashion Bug is located in the Clarion Mall, just off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 5.
This portion of the program is made possible through a grant from Clarion Hospital. Clarion Hospital is located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open around the clock every day of the year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1954.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TV5 News Live.
Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leader, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live. Welcome back to TV5 News Special Edition Election 2001. As of right now, we don't have any results yet, so we're going to go live to Mark Despotakis at the Clarion County Courthouse. Mark?
Are here at the Clarion County Courthouse, and as promised, Amanda Adu from the president of the Clarion University Young Democrats is joining me right outside of the courthouse. So the Young Democrats is new to campus, right?
Oh, yes. We have just gotten started in the last few weeks. A couple of faculty that are Democrats really got us together, Dr. Kevin Yennerall and Chris Rossetti. They kind of spread the word and together and had a meeting, an organizational meeting, and got things started.
So how'd you get the role of being the president from an organization that didn't exist how many months ago, and here you are the president of the organization already?
Yes, well, we needed someone, a whole group of people, an exec board, a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, to reconstitute and start fundraising. So one of the first big things to do was elect a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So that's how.
You got it.
Yeah.
So what's your organization doing? You know, we have viewers on campus watching us. What can they expect to be seeing from you guys? You know, where are we going to see you? Where are we going to see your name out there?
Well, our main goal, I guess, that's what you're asking, is to educate university students and young people in the community, too, about politics, especially the Democratic Party. We want to help the local, national, and state level Democrats who are getting elected into office. We also want to help the local, state, and national level young Democrats.
So I was over in the courthouse, and it's certainly always exciting on election night. What like for you being down here in your role as president of the Young Democrats? What is that like for you being in amongst all the excitement across the street?
Well, it's great because everyone's been very nice to us. Jim Barger, especially, has been great to us, and he's been introducing us to people, and they showed us kind of how things are tallied and how we find out who won, and everybody's been really great. The food's great.
That's right, I agree. Well, Amanda, thanks for coming down. We appreciate it.
Oh, we have a meeting November 13th.
Okay, get the plug in.
Yes, we have a meeting November 13th at 5 p.m. Founders Room 114. So everybody please come out.
Okay, great. Thanks for stopping by. And I understand you have a testigo study for,
Oh,
right?
yes, I do.
Well, good luck. That's what we have for you down here. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. It is often a challenge to get the young voters of our country to go out to the polls and vote. TV5's very own Chris Portman went to Clarion area senior high school, talked to the potential voters, and gave their views on taking part in the democratic process.
Since the controversial presidential election of last year, many politicians, business leaders, and teachers are stressing the importance of voting. Often voter turnout is low, particularly with younger generations. Recently, some young potential voters at Clarion area senior high school shared their opinions about voting. Darren Trocy, a senior in Matt Best's civics class, shared his thoughts about how important one vote can be.
Well, I think that, of course, everybody's vote will count even more because of the, last election.
Christopher Joy talked about the importance of voting.
I can't put it all. I think that everybody just writes it off. My vote can't help, so I'm not going to vote. I think that everybody needs to vote.
For some students, like Megan McMillan, the first step is not voting, it's choosing a political party.
But I'm still unsure of which political party I wanted to be affiliated with, so I wanted to wait.
She also sees a need for voters to make wise decisions when voting.
I think it's important for people to vote, but I think they need to be educated on the topics and the people, and not just randomly choose people.
After choosing a political party, Megan, like many young voters, will likely come here and bring this card to the Clarion County Board of Elections, where she'll begin the process of registering to vote. Despite the opinions of these students, there is still an overwhelming number of those who are eligible to vote but choose not to. This is an obstacle educators must tackle. Jill Chiptalk, who hopes to become a teacher, explained her strategy to encourage younger voters.
I've tried to show them that, especially in the past election with Bush and Gore, that those small votes that seemed so insignificant really were important.
So here at Clarion area senior high school, students are preparing to exercise one of the greatest powers given to all Americans, the right to vote. At Clarion area senior high school, Chris Portman, TV5 News.
We apologize, we don't have any results in yet. As soon as they're made available to us, we will get them out to you. We are now going once again to TV5's political analyst, Kevin General. Thanks again for joining us, Professor General. Can you comment on the mudslinging in the coroner's race between Frederick Goebel and Roland Burns?
Well, I've only been in Clarion here a couple of years. It's been a busy couple of years, and I'm very happy to be here. But, so I don't know both of the candidates very, very well. But I'm speaking tonight as a Democrat, also a citizen here in Clarion. And I would say this. As a political science professor, I do know that local politics can sometimes be very rough and tumble. And those of you who have been involved in races know this, whether it's school board, whether it's commissioner, whether it's coroner. So rough and tumble world of local politics is nothing new. But I think probably some of the allegations that have gone back and forth here maybe have even been a little bit much for even local politics, which is notoriously tough, and you have to have thick skin, no question about it, no matter what. Certainly, we hope, as the Democratic Party, that Rollie Burns is reelected. We think he's done a great job. And again, this is a situation where it's not always along party lines. People vote on performance, who they trust, who they know. Both of these individuals that are running are obviously well-established families, no question about that. We hope in the end that folks will choose Mr. Burns, and that we think that the mudslinging hopefully will not win the day, and that folks will vote more on performance, that he'll keep on his corner here in Clarion.
Professor Yerno, we all know the history of Daniel Hornberger's past incidents. Can you comment, do you feel that his past actions have affected his viewer popularity, his voter popularity?
Well, again, I think when it comes down to sheriff, this is another situation where folks are going to vote based on performance and who they think is going to do a better job. Some of the issues that have come up deal with the past. I think probably Dan will be the first to tell you he's ready to lead, as sheriff for the future. Folks know him, and we'll think he'll do a great job, and we expect him to win here tonight the race for sheriff.
Carol Ross is running for the position of school director in the Green Party.
Can you just explain to the viewers who might not know what exactly the Green Party is?
Yes, I'd be happy to. The Green Party here in the States is a relatively new political party. The Greens really had their start in Europe, particularly in Western Europe, Germany and France, but particularly showing strength in Germany in the 70s and 80s. In Europe, the Green Party predominantly came about in the late 70s and particularly the early 80s, when there was a fear that the nuclear arms race was being run again, and it was being run in an unsafe fashion, that we were building too many weapons, and that there were going to be consequences. Also concern over primarily the environment. Not surprising, hence the name the Green Party. The Green Party is generally pretty liberal on social issues and workers' rights. They're in favor of strong regulation of the environment to keep the air and water pure, so they would be quite progressive or liberal. The United States version of the Green Party is newer than the version over in Europe. As you probably know, the candidate for the Green Party here in this last presidential election was the very famous consumer advocate Ralph Nader, who received about 2.7% of the vote nationwide. The goal of the Green Party here in the States was to receive at least 5% of the popular vote across the country, so that they would receive federal matching funds the next time around when they would run for president, or run somebody for president. They had hoped that Ralph Nader would do that because he has 40 years of public service, battling corporate interests and so forth, and fighting for workers and unions and so forth. And Ralph Nader was not able to do it. He did generate quite a bit of excitement in some parts of the country. For Democrats, he generated maybe a little too much enthusiasm in Florida, where the 75,000 odd votes that he got could have helped Al Gore. But the Green Party, in short, newer to the United States, they believe in social justice, they believe in universal health care, they believe in a vibrant economy, but they also believe certainly in a strong environment, and believe that there should be governmental controls and to make sure that the air and the water are pure and that we preserve the earth for future generations. A lot of things in common with the more liberal and progressive wing of the Democratic Party, but certainly Ralph Nader came into the race to try to provide, a different message than what some of the Democrats are talking about. But that's really the history of the Green Party in the United States. We had a Green Party. There was a Green Party candidate, I think, in this last election through the Congress over Whitaker. So even at local level, we see a few Greens. But there's certainly a very minor party in the scope of things.
Thank you, Professor Yerno. We'll be joining with you in just a few moments. Right now, we're going to join Mark Yasukakis back at the Clarion County Courthouse. Mark?
Thank you very much, Kelly. We are here with the man we saw on TV about an hour and a half ago on Clarion Borough Council, Jim Crooks. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Mark. How are you tonight?
A little chilly, but we're surviving.
It's a beautiful night.
We're still waiting for numbers, obviously. I mean, obviously you came down. How confident you are? How do you feel about the day, about maybe being re-elected to Clarion Borough Council?
Well, I've served on council for 6 years, so, I feel like I've had a good taste of council and really learning what it's about. It has been interesting, and I'm just kind of excited that we have citizens in the borough that are willing to run, because it is a responsibility, not only being in the meetings and being involved in all the different things, but there's a lot of fiduciary responsibility also.
Right. Let's talking about borough council. You and I were just standing here chatting about some of the issues in the borough. Maybe we can step away because you're still a voting member of council. Clarion, it's known for Main Street, obviously. It's the business district. What can we do to help people who are going in and out of these businesses, who are walking around here? We were talking about that a pedestrian did die just today from an accident right up the street from where we're standing. Is there something that needs to be done? What do you think about this?
Well, we're very saddened about the tragedy that happened in the borough last week. Especially it's a half a block from where I live. My children use that crosswalk twice a day going back and forth to school. So, pedestrians, I feel, in the Central Business District should have the priority over the automobiles. And even though I don't and haven't seen any of the police results about this particular incident, where if there is blame or if it was just truly an accident, I don't know that yet. But I know that being a walker and walking to Main Street up and down and using these crosswalks a lot, I have been almost hit 3 or 4 different times close, and had I not really learned to pay attention to what was happening with the cars, We do have some very exciting things coming. Next year, we have applied for PennDOT for a pretty large grant, and they're at the corner, which I think is the most dangerous corner in the borough, is the corner of Main Street and Fifth Avenue here, because you have a lot of turning going on and a lot of activity going out to the mall. So that entire section will be redone, and there will be pedestrian lights, which I'm very excited about, which will solve a major problem in the borough. Then the other addition is that they're going to be adding a light on 2nd Avenue, which I think will help the traffic flow and slowing this traffic down. If you stand here, you just watch these cars go by, you know, it's really amazing, you know. I mean, the speed limit is 25, which I think is too fast. I think it should be 15, really. But 25 means a lot of people drive 45 or 35, and that's entirely too fast where you have people walking and shopping. And the people that live in the borough really do walk. I tell you, you come out here any hour of the day, there are walkers from early morning to late, and they walk these streets. And we have to really give consideration to the walker. And these crosswalks, you know, as we were talking briefly before, I'm concerned about the crosswalks around the university, particularly between the gymnasium and the new parking lot, because kids have to cross Greenville, and the traffic flies down Greenville and flies up Greenville. And that traffic needs slowed down, but everybody needs to be cautious.
Certainly an issue to be looked at by Borough Council. Jim, we'll let you go over and take a look at the numbers.
Okay.
Thanks for coming down and joining us. Ladies, we will send it back to you live down at the County Courthouse. I'm Mark Testadakis.
Thanks, Mark. When we come back, we'll have more Team 5 coverage of Election 2001.
Stay tuned. TV 5 News Special Edition Election 2001 will continue in just a moment.
TV5 news coverage of Election 2001 is being brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's now and get a large one-topping pizza for $5.99. Make it with unlimited toppings for $8.99. Call Domino's now at 226-4060. This special is good only tonight, and you must mention that you saw this offer right here on Clarion's very own TV5.
I am an American. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am
An American.
I am an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American. I'm an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
The tools needed to rebuild lives after a disaster aren't always hammers and nails. The tools needed to give warmth to the homeless lie in the beginning. The salvation unknown, it takes tools that come from the heart. Donate online or call 1-800-SALARMY.
You'd never know it on the battlefield. But nearly half of today's military are National Guard and reservists. However, they can't answer our nation's call without their employers' support. If you're an employer, visit esgr.org and find out how to do your part. After all, their response depends on yours.
You're watching TV5 with Zeta Tau Alpha.
Welcome back to TV5 Special Edition Election 2001. We apologize once again, we do not have any results in. As soon as we get the results, we will give them out.
Right now, Mark Spatakis is once again standing by outside at the Clarion County Courthouse. Mark?
Thank you, ladies. Actually, I do understand we do have some numbers. I'm here with Bill Peck, running for sheriff. What have you heard in the sheriff's race?
Well, I've just heard that they put up their 11 precincts are in. It's the Republicans 1182 to the Democratic 861.
Okay, and you're obviously running in the Republican Party. So how does this make you feel? Are you excited at this point? It's still early, but yet 11 precincts is pretty valuable.
Well, I feel confident. I think we've got out there and got our message out. I was out working the polls today, and I feel confident today.
Okay, so let's say tomorrow it's decided that you're in. You know, where do you go from here? What are your goals for the office?
Well, I plan on finishing out, moving into the office the first of next year. You know, it's like anything else. You take a good look at what you have there, and you fine-tune it to your specifications and so forth. I don't look for a lot of big changes, but I think it'll be a smooth transition, and we'll get through it real well.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for joining us. We'll let you go back and look at the returns.
Okay, thank you.
So hopefully, as I said, there are some returns posted. We should be able to have some of those for you coming up very soon. For now, live down at the courthouse, I'm Mark Despotakis.
Mark, what is the atmosphere like at the courthouse?
Actually, ladies, I haven't been in there for a while. I was in there a little bit earlier, and it's a general excitement going on election night there. The Democrats are having their party, and the Republicans are having their party. I still have Bill Peck here. What did you get? Did you get any? The anchors have just asked me, what's the mood like in the courthouse? The general excitement, or?
I think there is, yes. There's quite a few people there. Everybody's real happy right now and having their food and so forth and having a real good time.
So does it really matter who wins in the end, or it still does?
Well, I would like to be, surely I would like to be the winner here. I mean, I've worked real hard. My people have worked real hard for me, so, I mean, we're out here to win.
But the party's nice, too.
Pardon?
The party over there is nice, too.
Oh, yes. Yes, the party's right. Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, ladies.
Mark, can you tell us what was voter turnout like today?
Well, actually, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm not really sure. I've heard some good and I've heard some bad. I've heard some precincts where there were over 50% there, and I've heard some where there just weren't too many. As I said, we're just going to have to wait till tomorrow and look at the numbers.
Thanks, Mark. We're now going to step aside from our Team 5 coverage of Election 2001 for a moment.
When we come back, TV5's very own Ebony Daniels will have a TV5 News update.
We can talk now.
TV5 news coverage of Election 2001 is being brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's now and get a large one-topping pizza for $5.99. Make it with unlimited toppings for $8.99. Call Domino's now at 226-4060. This special is good only tonight, and you must mention that you saw this offer right here on Clarion's very own TV5.
Violent. We're stronger than you. You can't hold it. Violent. know what it takes to blow past you.
The violence, we're just getting going.
On September 11th, America faced terrorist attacks of the worst kind. Innocent lives were lost, and a sad cloud was cast over this great nation. These acts were intended to cause fear among all Americans, including our children. But we cannot let that happen. There are things we can do to help our kids. Talk with them. Listen to them. Tell them they're safe and that they're loved. God bless you. God bless America.
Because many of these products are made from materials you've been recycling. But to keep recycling working, you need to buy products that say, made from recycled materials. For all those next in line, it would mean the world to them.
I'll take Simmons.
Jimmy Jones.
Anderson.
Smith.
Lightfoot.
Jacob.
Hernandez.
Scott.
Harris.
Lavender.
In the game of life, you've got a much chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call Magni. We'll tell you.
Good evening. Welcome to the 10 o'clock news live update. I'm Ebony Daniels. Tonight I'll give you a quick look at tonight's top stories. But first, the laced with anthrax that was sent to Senator Tom DeShaw had a return address of Franklin Park, New Jersey. Authorities have been scouring that area for clues, but have not made much progress so far. Eileen O'Connor has more on the investigation. In local news tonight was Borough Council and TV5 own Carrie Pugh was at the meeting and has all the details. Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you, Ebony. Tonight, two of the most talked about things were information from public safety, and the Clarion Fire Department was also there tonight. Other things were mentioned tonight, but those were the top two things. For the most part, public safety, led by Melvin Riffer, was the most important thing. And what they were talking about were the bikes, the scooters, rollerblades, and skateboards that have been on Main Street. What they're trying to do is have a restricted area between 4th and 8th Avenue on Main Street, except for children who are under the age of 11, and they will have to be with supervision. What they're trying to do is improve the safety of the elderly and the children, just because it has been getting very crazy on Main Street with all of that. What they're trying to do is have some penalties in people who violate these restrictions in the restricted areas. First violations will be just a warning, and then second, if there's a violation there for the second time, those with rollerblades, scooters, and skateboards will have those things impounded by the police. After 5 days, the child, along with an adult over the age of 18, will be able to go down to the police station and pick up that item. However, for those who are riding bikes in the restricted area, they will be fined under the motor vehicle company and have their bike impounded for 2 weeks. Afterwards, that they can go back and get that as well. This was not motioned and carried tonight because Melvin Riffer is looking for other borough council members to give him some ideas if there's changes needed to be there, or recommendations on what needs to be done with this ordinance. The president of Borough Council asked if any other boroughs or communities have been using something like this. 8 or 9 other boroughs and communities have done this, but they have been stricter ordinances. What they are trying to do, though, is to improve safety of those on Main Street in those restricted areas. And that's basically all that was talked about tonight at Borough Council. For TV5 News, I'm Carrie LaPue.
Other local news, Department of Environmental Protection is inviting the public to an informational meeting on November 20th. The meeting is watershed focused. The meeting, which will be held at 7 p.m., will be in the Brookville High School. The meeting is an opportunity for the community to get involved in the environment with discussion on how to solve today's problems in an efficient way. Also in Clarion today, the county commissioners are not sure the hotel tax will be able to go into effect as planned. The plan was for the tax to take effect by the first of the year. Commissioner Campbell says that before he will support the enacting of the hotel tax, he has several questions he wants answered. Those questions are along the lines of financial stability among the group. The commissioners will make a decision on this matter later in the year. That's all for TV5 News Update. Stay tuned for more live election coverage. I'm Ebony Daniels. Good night.
The programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555, that's 26555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
Wardrobe for some TV5 news anchors, provided by Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all, with many different styles. Fashion Bug also offers a wide selection of accessories. Fashion Bug is located in the Clarion Mall, just off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 5.
This portion of the program was made possible through a grant from Clarion Hospital. Located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open a year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1904.
Welcome back to TV5 coverage of Election 2001. Here are the latest numbers we have. As of right now, 11 of 43 precincts are reporting. Precincts reporting were not named. Liberty Street and Fire Hall in the Clarion precinct have been turned in. Murray Ford from the precinct hasn't been turned in as of yet. For the race of county coroner, Roland Burns topped out with 1,081 votes, with Frederick Goebel behind with 983 votes.
The Clarion Borough Council, which you elect 4 of them, Elaine Moore is 384 votes, which is 20.45%. Ron Wilshire, 367 votes, which is 19.55%. James Cook, 329 votes, 17.52%. Melvin Riffer, 263 votes, 14.1%. Raymond Austin, 260 votes, 13.85%. Rich Herman, 266 votes, 14.17%.
For Clarion Borough Mayor, William Smathers topped out with 432 votes. That is 93.5%.
And for the sheriff, William Peck III, 1,182 votes, 57.79%. And Daniel Hornberger, 861 votes, 42.10%. Right now, we are going to join Mark Jessipak at the Clarion County Courthouse, where he has Mark and the Clarion County District Attorney standing by with him. Mark?
Thank you, ladies. As you said, we are here with Mark Aaron, the District Attorney here in Clarion County, speaking a little bit from the Democratic Party for us. So we've heard some of the numbers, and I have the numbers in front of me. We've been just looking at them. So right now, you're behind in the sheriff's race and ahead in the coroner's race. What do you make of maybe those races so far this early with 11 precincts in?
Well, between the parties, it seems to be a split right now. But as we were talking at the break,
there are 11 of the precincts in, I think that represents about a quarter of the county, maybe a little bit more than that. But I'd like to see the breakdown between the precincts because in Clarion County, you know that certain candidates will be strong in certain areas. Certain party, one party is strong in one area, while another party is strong in another. For instance, Clarion is historically strong democratically up north in Farmington, Washington, Knox Townships, and also historically strong on the Republican end in New Bethlehem, Reimersburg, and other areas. So it's still early, and I'd like to see the breakdown between the different municipalities. It would tell more of the tale of the numbers this evening.
Okay, so we will be, of course, waiting for that. Two big countywide races, the sheriff's race as well as the coroner's race. Mark Aaron, County DA, thanks for joining us. Ladies, we will send it back to you.
Thanks, Mark. Once again, we are now joined by political analyst Professor Kevin Yenerall. Professor Yenerall, is it a surprise that Roland Burns is ahead for the coroner?
No, not at all. This is what we expected, I think, because folks have been pleased with his job. And as I said, sometimes when you look at local races, it's a question of performance and trust and getting to know the person, know if they're doing a good job. And although the Republican Party does have an advantage here in Clarion County, roughly 2,000 votes, certainly I think that Roy Burns is doing well because people know him, they like the job he's doing, so, and that they've rejected, some of the harder edges of the mudslinging that's gone on. So we hope that that race will continue to work out for Democrats.
Dr. Yenerall, can you give us opinion is on the numbers so far? Give us a basic crunch down of the numbers?
Basically, the only thing I would add to what Mark Aaron said a few minutes ago, which, by the way, is right, you do want to know what precincts are reporting, because certainly Democrats are stronger in some areas, Republicans are stronger in others. So without that more specific information, I'd be hesitant to make too many broad judgments. But what I would say is this. Based on the numbers as they stand, without looking at the specifics, it would appear that with the sheriff race, folks perhaps are breaking along parties. And with the coroner's race, it's not exactly breaking along those ways, just along party line, rather. And it would appear that certainly the incumbent Burns, the Democrat, is certainly also getting some Republican votes, which would speak to his strength here in Clarion County and probably the performance that he's doing, and that folks are pleased with him. But the sheriff race would seem to fall along more party lines, the other one not quite as much.
Professor Yenerall, as we stated earlier in the cast, we talked about the David Hornberger's past experience. Do you think this has anything to do with him falling behind?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see till the rest of the results come in and we take a look at the precincts and the breakdown, because that will tell us some more about party turnout and the places where Dan did well, where he didn't do quite as well. We still have a while to go yet, so I do want to see if there's going to be a change or maybe an upswing. So I would hold off passing judgment just yet, but we want to see the results and particularly the results where, the different precincts. So we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you, Professor Yenerall. We're now going to switch now to Mark Despotakis, who is live at the Clarion Courthouse once again. Mark?
Thank you very much, ladies. We've been down here taking a look at some of the numbers, and I have the sheet of the numbers that you have announced. One thing I want to talk about here briefly is the Clarion Borough Council race. Looking at the numbers so far, now this is with 2 of the 3 precincts in the borough in, so this could be telling we don't have the precinct that voted over at the Fine Arts Building on the university campus, but currently we have Elaine Moore ahead with 20% of the vote, 20.45%. Now, you do elect 4 out of these 6 candidates. So far, the 4 that are ahead are Elaine Moore with 20%, Jim Crooks, who we had on our air here just a few minutes ago, with 17%, Ron Wilshire, who you may remember from Clarion Borough Council from some years back. I remember reporting on him just about 2 years ago as president of council. And also Rich Herman at 14%. So those are the 4 in the lead. And we have Mel Riffer at 14.01 currently on council, as well as Ray Austin, current president of council, currently in last place with 13.85%. And the kind of vote tallies we're looking at is we're looking at about 300 votes for each person in the 200, 300 range. So one precinct certainly could come in and sway this who knows which way, who knows who'll be on if we'll have all of the incumbents back. So as I said, there were 6 running, 4 of those are going to be elected, 3 running are incumbents. Will they be back, will they not be back? That remains to be seen. We will certainly be looking at the numbers again. Hopefully we'll be getting more results for you later tonight. For now, live at the courthouse, I'm Mark Estadagas, TV5 News. Back to you.
Thanks, Mark. TV5 News coverage of Election 2001 will continue.
When we come back, we'll have final thoughts with Professor Kevin Yurno and Mark Estadagas.
Stay tuned.
2001 is being brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's now and get a large one-topping pizza for $5.99. Make it with unlimited toppings for $8.99. Call Domino's now at 226-4060. This special is good only tonight, and you must mention it right here on Clarion's very own TV5.
I am an American. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I
am
An American.
I am an American. I am American.
I am an American. I'm an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
The tools needed to rebuild lives after a disaster aren't always hammers and nails. The tools needed to give warmth to the homeless. When lives are rebuilding, the Salvation knows it takes tools that come from the heart. Donate online or call 1-800-SALARMY.
You'd never know it on the battlefield, but nearly half of today's military are National Guard and reservists. However, they can't answer our nation's call without their employer's support. If you're an employer, visit esgr.org and find out how to do your part. After all, the response depends on yours.
You're watching TV5 with Zeta Alpha.
Welcome back. We're going to speak one final time with Professor Kevin Yurno to see if he has any final thoughts on election 2001. Professor Yurno?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me here tonight. It's been a pleasure to come down here and be part of Channel 5 on this election night coverage. Again, I just remind you, I am speaking tonight as a private citizen and a member of the Democratic Party with an occasional comment or two that's as a professor, particularly, I guess, with the Green Party information. But final thoughts here tonight, I guess what I would say, we need to still pay close attention to these final results with the local elections. Certainly, we're pretty pleased with the results so far. Looks like at least one race is going, one major race, the race for coroner, is going the way the Democrats certainly would like. When you look outside of Clarion County and look at the bigger picture, certainly here in the state of Pennsylvania, we should definitely be looking at the state Supreme Court and what's going to happen between Eakin, the Republican, and what's going to happen with Kate Ford Elliott, the Democrat. That's certainly a major race. You've seen a lot of ads on television, a lot of mudslinging, so be very curious to see what happens there. Outside of the state of Pennsylvania, you see major governor's races in the state of Virginia, between Warner and between Early. That is a major, major governor's race. Also, you look in New Jersey, where you have a governor's race as well. And in both of those states, Democrats hope to do well. Virginia's traditionally a Republican state, but it's very close this time around. New Jersey is a pretty strong Democrat, and the candidate there, Jim McGreevey, hopefully is going to win, the Democratic candidate, but they should be close. The other major race is the mayoral race in New York City. New York City is overwhelmingly Democrat. It's almost 5-1 Democrat, and yet the current mayor is Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, who's been widely praised, and I think in many cases justifiably so for his leadership during these very troubled times since September 11th. The race there is very interesting because it's between longtime city advocate Mark Green and between the entrepreneur Michael Bloomberg. It's a dead heat, at least according to the polls, in a city that should be overwhelmingly Democratic. So I'll be very curious to see what happens there. Thanks so much for having me tonight, and we'll see you around the block.
Thank you, Professor Yarno. We're going back to Mark Despotakis live at the county courthouse for one final time. Mark?
Thank you very much, Courtney. We don't have any new numbers for you yet. You've heard some of the numbers before. We're talking in Clarion Borough Council so far. Elaine Moore is winning, and if I can just kind of fumble through my papers on live television here for 1 second. In the sheriff's race, we have William Peck currently leading with 57% of the vote. Daniel Hornberger with 42% of the vote. In the other big county race, the coroner's race, incumbent Raleigh Burns leading with 52% of the vote. Challenger Republican Rick Goebel is in at 47% now. That's the county races with 11 precincts counted. Now, as I understand, this is probably not going to be a late night here because most of the precincts have brought their ballots to the courthouse. At last check, there were only 3 precincts in the county that had not actually brought their ballots down here. One of those precincts, we understand, is from the Marwick Boyd Fine Arts Center at Clarion University, where the Clarion borough ballots will be from. So we have probably about 2/3 of those borough ballots in. So it's probably not going to be a long night for those waiting for the information down here. We, of course, tomorrow night will bring you the latest on all of these races on TV5 News at 8. For now, reporting live from downtown at the Clarion County Courthouse, I'm Mark Despotakis. Kelly and Courtney, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. That's all for this edition of TV5 Election 2001.
That's right. Don't forget to tune again tomorrow night when Carrie LaPoo and Jackie Nealon bring you the latest election news on TV5 News Live at 8.
From everyone here at TV5 News, thanks for watching and good night.